what do you think the power of making a brand is in 2026?
A brand is so important because most people don't understand what a brand is. A brand is a picture that tells a story. It has a feeling. How do you make people feel? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? And I think in 2026, branding is everything, and branding is why people are getting canceled. Because I don't know if it was Versace or one of those people who had humans draped on other humans, and it was like, people want to know, like, and trust. People want that. They want people they can know, like, and trust, which is why, whether you're talking about BET or Nike or whoever these big behemoth names are, it used to be, I need BET to discover me. Now, BET wants me. They're saying, but listen, we're looking for influencers. We're looking for people who have street cred because big names, Gen Z doesn't want. They don't trust big names anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of mistrust there. So they want their local influencer that they know, like, and trust.
Welcome to another episode of Out of the System. I am your host, Leo Climaco. Today's guest is someone who's an entrepreneur. He's a coach. JP Power, Joseph Pridgen. How are you, sir?
Doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. How about you?
Looking sharp.
I tried to add like I was coming to your show.
My man got the wait, is that suede? What is that? It is suede. And he got the matching shoes.
Come on, give it to him.
Look at that. Incredible. How are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, man.
Thank you for taking your time to come here from South Carolina? North Carolina, yes, even further up.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. It's beautiful. It's cold there, so catch a flight, change the weather.
Yes, 100%. Yes, all right, tell me about yourself. Where'd you grow up? What's your background? Where'd you come from?
So I grew up in North Carolina. My dad was a preacher. I inadvertently followed in his footsteps and became a preacher. But in 2014, my bishop and I had a difference of opinion. And just like that, newly married, growing church, fastest growing church in my conference. After that difference of opinion, I'm homeless, jobless, incomeless. They shut everything down.
Can you share with us what that difference was?
He thought we were having a discussion about so I had got suspended, right? Because they were going to somebody accused me of doing something. So I said we're gonna do an investigation, do the whole thing. That was cool because it was like a paid vacation for me. I was like, okay, let's do it. And he said, okay, it's come to my attention that you are gonna be preaching somewhere. I said, yeah. While y'all are handling everything over here on my paid vacation, I was like, I'm gonna go over here and preach at the church up the street. He's like, you can't do that. I said, I'm sorry. He said, well, violate your suspension. I said, oh, I'm so sorry, because we have a discipline. And then there was a written suspension. I said, well, show me line and paragraph in the written suspension, or show me in the discipline where I'd be violated. He said, it's not in there. I said, oh, okay. So how would it be a violation of your suspension? He said, well, we have suspended your preaching license. If you go preach somewhere, by what authority would you be preaching? I said, ooh, yikes. By the authority of Yeshua HaMashiach, dog. You didn't call me to preach, right? You don't think you have the authority. He's like, yeah, we can tell you when to preach and when not to preach. So I said, let me, just to be clear, just to make sure that I'm clear, you're telling me that you think you have the authority to tell me not to do what the Lord told me to do?
Right.
And he looked at me in my face, didn't bat an eyelash, didn't miss a beat. Absolutely. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. A terrible mistake has happened here. Show me where to turn in this ordination. Show me where to turn in everything y'all got. Y'all can have it back. And I'm scared for you. He's not alive today.
Wow.
He's not alive today. So I said that to say, man, this journey has been nothing that I ever dreamed, nothing that I intended to go on. But since then, the Lord has allowed us to find life coaching, book publishing, and we've been able to make over $1 million in the business. So, the Lord has been good to us.
That's incredible.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. How long did you preach for?
So I was preaching. So I got called in 2001, and I'm still preaching. So I pastor a church called the Power Church. Power is the brand. For me, power is the metaphor. There are a lot of people who feel victimized, whether it's in your finances. So my second book, that's one of my books right there. My second book was More Than a Conqueror, Getting Victory in Every Area of Your Life. I preached a sermon series called Does Your Jesus Work in Real Life? And for me, I'm really angry about a people who go to church and sing about an all-powerful God and read about an all-powerful God and talk about an all-powerful God and then leave church and the devil got his foot on their neck and they don't have any victory anywhere. Their health is jacked up, their marriages are jacked up, their kids are jacked up, their mental health is jacked up. It's almost as if all the powerful promises in the Bible, they just kind of leave them at church. There's a separation between what I say at church and actual real life. And I'm like, no, that's not what's real. So my metaphor for my whole thing is power. We are empowered to live abundant life. I didn't make it up. It's already in the book when I woke up this morning. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the metaphor for how I live.
I think I understand how those people see it though, because I used to be like that.
Okay.
And it's like, I get to do what I want during the week, but then on Sunday I get to cleanse myself.
Right. So it's almost like a penance.
Right.
So one of the things that I talk to people about is, you know, I come to church and I suffer through a boring sermon. The pews are uncomfortable. People are kind of mean.
Right.
And, you know, it's kind of like, okay, God, I've done your thing. I came to your house. Now, look, I don't bother you in your house. You don't come bother me in mine. I literally preach that from the pulpit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say, one of the things that I have in my videos is, what do you think about when you think about church? Is it boring sermons, uncomfortable pews, literally counting the seconds until you can get out of there? What if I told you that none of that has anything to do with the message of the kingdom that Jesus Christ preached? Here's something for your listeners. The Bible is not a book about religion. The Bible is a book about a king sending ambassadors to a foreign territory to colonize it in his name. So we are supposed to be taking over the world with the gospel. Not by force.
Repeat that, please.
We're supposed to be
that went over a lot of people's heads.
We're supposed to be we are the government. Behold, unto you in the Christmas season, unto you a child is born, unto you a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, and of the increase of his government there shall be no end. So when we're talking about government, when we're talking about a kingdom, we're talking about something drastically different than a religion. A religion, for most part of it, can be abstract. Right. I can kind of have my own. You can go 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 weeks without thinking about your religion. Right. Every second of every minute of every day, you're reminded that you're in America. You cannot get away from the government that you're living in right now. So if we were really living kingdom, the way we dress, like we're speaking English, you know, here now, but English is the dominant language. Like the way you talk, kingdom, we have a language. You understand what I'm saying? So everything about kingdom, the way I dress, the way I talk, the way I treat my wife, the way I raise my children, my value system. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a Christocrat. I follow Christ. What do you feel about that? I'm a Christocrat. Yes, sir. I follow Christ. So
I never heard that. I love that.
I'm not allowed to have an opinion. I have a king. And as an ambassador of my king, I don't go out here getting sound bites of my opinion. No, I represent what my king said. What does my king say about that? Love your enemies. Well, no, Joseph, you know they did that when Michelle Obama came out with a quote. She said, when they go low, we go high. And we remixed it, and they say, well, when they go low, baby, we limbo. We go to the flow. Listen, we not turning no other cheeks. I'm like, well, that's funny. That sounds cute. But what does the Bible say? The Bible says when somebody slaps you on the cheek, turn the other cheek.
Yes.
That's what the Bible says. Now, again, that's crazy, it's radical, it's revolutionary. But if we're just like the world, what good are we? If we blend in, if there's no difference. Jesus said unsalty salt. And I've been to a restaurant where I had some grits. I don't know if y'all eat grits in Florida. You know what I'm saying?
Grits, of course.
grits. But I was shaking some salt on my grits, stirring it up. I was ready. I was having my little scrambled eggs. I was ready. Put it in my mouth, and I was like, oh, God, what is that? And shook some more salt. Couldn't taste none of it. Shook some more. Finally shook some in my hand. Did like that. It was done. There was no salt. The salt wasn't salty anymore. And Jesus spoke about that in the Bible. If salt doesn't taste salty anymore, what good is it? What can you do with unsalty salt? Jesus said nothing. It's good for nothing. You throw it out and trample it under the foot of men. And he said, worthless. That's exactly what a Christian is who blends in with the world. If you're not different, if people can't look at you and say, hey, there's something about him, there's something about her, what good are you to the kingdom? So again, for me, it's not about I used to be a great debater. I used to be on the debate team in high
could
school,
tell.
all of that. I used to, man, I was into it. But what I found out is that I always had a heart and a passion for truth. If I'm wrong, tell me. Let's get to it. You know, I got a little points, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm wrong, tell me. I don't want to be loud and wrong. I really want to be correct. And I found out that most people, when they debate nowadays, they're not interested in coming to truth. They're interested in digging in their heels and kind of defending their point. So for me, I don't debate with people anymore because if it's real, I shouldn't have to debate it. I don't believe that the gospel, the main promotion of the gospel should be declaration. I believe that the main promotion of the gospel should be demonstration. So I forget the guy who said it, forgive me, but he said, preach the gospel at all times, only use words when necessary. Preach the gospel at all times, only use words when necessary. Because if you got to talk my head off, where's the evidence? And I'm gonna date myself, I'm a little older, it might be a little older, you know what I'm saying? But where's the beef? Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? Don't talk me to death, show me.
Right.
The difference. Show me the blessings. Show me. I should be able to see blessings on your life. I should be able to see. You shouldn't be struggling like I'm struggling. If every time I come to the job, you cussing out the boss like I'm cussing out the boss, you mad, you fussing, you mad at the economy, you cuss somebody out on the way here, like, how are you? You need a hug. Yeah, why? Don't tell me about your car. You need $5. Let me help you out. You know what I'm saying? So that's, for me, I feel like we're failing to be different. And that is what the only thing that marks us as believers, not our good talk, not our, we have a better theology than somebody else. Anybody can come up with what they believe about God.
Right.
Where's the proof? Where's your joy in the midst of pain? When people came up to me, and I use this in my speeches, they said, when you lost everything, you and your wife were homeless, how did you not give up? How did you keep going? And I feel bad. Honestly, I can share this with you. You know, it's just us talking.
Of course.
I feel bad. I feel like a fraud. Because people give me credit for not giving up. And I'm like, giving up was never an option. It wasn't even on the table. Give up.
Right.
How? I'm me. You know what I'm saying? God is in here. Something is going to click. Something is going to work. Okay. I literally went to seminary for 3 years, graduated, got a church. This is my life path. It crashed and burned. Oh, well, let's do something else. Something's going to, because you can't, one of the things I always say is, you can steal my coat, but you can't steal my covering. It's not on me, it's in me. So you can't take me. Whatever God gave me, it's in me. And if it looks like pastoring in a traditional church, cool. If it looks like being on a podcast, cool. If it looks like me being a life coach, because the world calls it a life coach, but we know who the source of life is, and we know what a coach is. So I got $1 million for anybody listening. You can tell me a difference between a pastor and a life coach. Like what is like, a pastor is somebody who helps you live your life by the certain principles. Now, every life coach doesn't use my principles.
Right.
I got a book of principles that I use, but I mean, I'm toe to toe with Tony Robbins or anybody else. I'm gonna help you live your best life, period. Because I know the author of life. So you can't, no source, no book you read is gonna give you a better chance at being successful at life than the book I'm reading. Now listen, I read all the books. I love all the books. I love reading, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things, but the Bible is the greatest success book that there is. And the reason why people don't believe that is because they're not applying it. So I'll say this, I'll stop. I have a series that I do called Kingdom Customer Service.
Kingdom Customer Service.
Kingdom Customer Service. And somebody calls in and says, man, the promises of God don't work. These promises ain't working. And I say, okay, hello. Thank you for calling Kingdom Customer Service. You're saying your abundant life is not working? You're saying you came that you have life and have more abundant that's not working in your life? Okay, thank you. Before I escalate the call to the CEO and tell him that his product doesn't work, there are a few troubleshooting questions I want to ask you. Have you repented for all known sin? Are you fasting regular? Are you reading your word? Are you praying? Have you been asking God what he wants you to do with your life, or did you just decide it yourself? See, all these things we're asking. Well, are you living for God? Yes, I'm living for God. Okay, but what about this? Oh, and I don't know about that. Well, are you living for God? There was a lady that I talked to. I'm saying, Pastor, I want to lose weight. And I said, okay, well, are you dieting and exercising? Well, no, I ain't doing that. But what else can I do to lose weight? I'm like, what? I mean, maybe you can find some sort of magic pill. I don't know. There was a lady that called me and said, Pastor Pridgen, I think you were talking about me in the message. I said, okay, well, how so? She was like, I've been living for God, but I'm not seeing the abundant life. I said, okay, well, let me ask you a question, troubleshooting question. Would you say in practical reality that, you're living your life according to the word. And she, oh, yeah, I'm living my life according to the word, absolutely. I mean, nobody's perfect, but yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Well, yeah, I've been shacked up with this dude for the last 21 years. We got 3 kids, and, we fornicating, and, we gamble a little bit, we smoke and drink, but, I just don't understand why my life ain't working out. And I'm a kid's acting crazy. And I'm sitting on the phone trying my best. This is a true story. I'm sitting on the phone trying to not sound the way that I feel. Because I want to say, duh, that's why I was like, and again, no shade. No, do what you want to do. You grown. Do whatever you want to do.
Right.
Just don't give me a Apple laptop, take the back off, pour Pepsi Cola in it, and then call Apple and say, hey, your product doesn't work.
Right.
Now, you grow. It's your Apple. It's your Apple computer. You can pour Pepsi if you want to. But don't call them and say it's their problem. If you violated the principles of how that laptop was supposed to work, it's not Apple's fault. You voided the warranty. You can't say, guys, it was your fault. I need a new laptop. Why? Because you made some promises and you said this product was going to do something it don't do. No, it does everything we said it's going to do.
What do you think people are missing?
I think... And for me, I can only speak from my lens, but I think tradition taught us to separate religion from real life. I think tradition says, we just hung out Saturday night. We were smoking, drinking, going to the club, get with girls, doing whatever. Sunday morning, mama makes us go to church. And so it's this kind of out of real life experience. Like there's nothing about this is real. We're sitting on 18th century furniture. We're looking at stained glass windows. Somebody is sitting in front of a wooden or a plexiglass lectern, and 5 times out of 10, they're not great speakers.
Right.
So now I'm bored. So if you're like me, it takes me 5 seconds to figure out whether or not I'm going to listen to you or whether I'm going to check out.
Correct.
And so this guy, because
it's quick.
It's quick. It's like,
Real
no,
quick.
I can tell whether you don't know what you're talking about.
Either I vibe with you or I don't.
Right. So I think if you give people interesting, powerful biblical nuggets that can apply to their real life, they will pay attention. I feel like the average person has grown up all their life and hasn't really gotten that.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying, what's happening in your real life? People say, I'm coming to church. I heard about Noah and the ark. Daniel in the lion's den. Praise the Lord. Well, you're not in the lion's den. What that got to do with you? Praise God. We got to talk about it. What is the lion's den that you're in right now?
Correct.
What is the Goliath that you are fighting? Praise God for David. He did. So David can't learn nothing. He's learned whatever lesson he's going to learn, he got to learn.
Right.
We have to learn. And people aren't coming.
Who's your Goliath?
The only Goliath I have is me. The only enemy I have is enemy, because the enemy is defeated.
We all lack that. We all lack to understand that we are our own Goliath.
Our own Goliath.
And our own David.
Like we have the power to... The Lord has already done everything he's going to do.
Right.
He's given us a path of blessings. He said, listen, do this, everything going to be Gucci. If you go left, I love you. We still cool, but you're going to have some pain. For me, it's my desires. It's my pride.
Right.
It's my lack of discipline. Because, doing things over and over and over and being really consistent, being really faithful. The Bible talks about not being weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. How many podcast episodes I got to do before I blow up? Lee, I done did like 50. You know what I'm saying? That you got to really be locked in to the call. So I think I would say my Goliath is me. I hope I'm winning. I hope I'm winning.
Would you say that Christianity has gotten soft or has softened its stance, its foundation?
It's the word Christianity is an interesting word. I know what I mean, and now I'm channeling my inner Myron Golden here. Shout out to Myron Golden. I know what I mean when I say Christianity, because I went to seminary, and they told me you can't say Christian means Christ-like. You can't say that. It's deeper than that. That's what the word means. Christ-like. I-N is a suffix. We took English class. But anyway, for me, there's no way to answer your question, there's no way to be Christ-like and soft. I believe that the religion that we have built around the teachings of Christ, that we treat like a buffet, we take some and we leave some, I think that has become soft. Because anytime you take some of Jesus' teachings, But then you say, well, now I don't agree with that, so I'm gonna just leave that one out. Well, you've totally dismantled the whole. Because if you drive in a car, you got 3 wheels, but you ain't got the 4th one, you're not going far. You can drive a little bit, but you're not going far without that. You need it. Everything that Jesus taught us is a part of a whole. And when you're filled with his spirit, you listen and he corrects you. One of the things I heard T.D. Jakes say, he said, God created us in his image, but in 2025, we have recreated God in our image. We have created a God that likes everything we like and hates everything we hate. And I tell my people all the time, if you serve a God that never rebukes you, that never disagrees with you, if he loves everything you love and hates everything you hate and is mad at everybody you're mad at, you're not serving God, you're serving yourself.
Right.
Because you made up some sort of idea and you put God's face on it. That's not real. When you are submitted to God, sooner or later, guaranteed he's gonna say something to make you mad. Guaranteed he's gonna say something that your flesh doesn't agree with. And you're gonna have to decide, am I Lord or is he Lord?
It's probably why so many people, they're like,
Right.
The Old Testament, I can do without.
Right.
The New Testament, I'll keep.
So this is where my gold digger strategy comes in. Are there blessings in Christianity? Absolutely. Is there healing and favor and all the stuff that worldly people want? Is that in Christianity? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Problem with the prosperity gospel is what's the front and what's the back? I use a marriage, for example. I'm married. If my wife asks me for money, if I got it, I'm gonna give it to her because I love her.
Right.
But if I meet a girl on the street and she says, if you want to date me, you gotta get my hair done, you gotta take me shopping, gotta spend $2,000, I'm immediately turned off because even though in a real, authentic, loving relationship, the giving of money is a part of it,
right.
If that's all you're after, it's not really real. And I think a lot of people have gotten to the point where I only want to come to church if you tell me what your church can do for me. So I'm not coming. Jesus said, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross. Those are the first 2 prerequisites. Then follow me. Blessing. So cross first, blessing second.
Deny himself.
Deny himself. Take up his cross. Then follow me. And he said, any man does not deny himself, take up his cross. He can't be my disciple. So a lot of people say, well, no, I'm coming to church, but what Jesus gonna do for me? Can he fix this? Okay, Lord, I want you to give me a job. I want you to do my will. I don't really want to do your will. As long as you're going to co-sign and bless my will, we Gucci, got him with you. Look, so to capsulate the point, Pastor Pridgen, I'm mad at God. Why are you mad at God? He didn't answer my prayer. I hear this a lot, I hear this all the time. He didn't answer your prayer. I asked God for a new job and I didn't get it. So run me past the part where he didn't answer your prayer. I just told you. I asked God for a new job and I didn't get it. So no is not an answer? No is not it. So you're so oblivious, you're so prideful, you're so idolatrous that you didn't say God told me no. You said God didn't even answer me. Because it didn't even cross your mind that the sovereign king of the universe could have the audacity to tell you no. So again, this is where we are as a culture. Like, I really just want a cosmic genie. I want somebody who does my will. I really want to pray. I want to go to church. I want to put $2.50 in the bucket. And I want that to qualify me for membership in the club of the blessed. Everything I want, everything I need, all my desires, even to the degree that I can use the desires to worship my flesh in the world. So I said this, if my wife comes to me and says, baby, let me get $1,000, $1,000 is a lot. But if I got it, I hand it to her. But if she comes to me and says, babe, my side dude is in town for the weekend. I need $1,000 so I can take him shopping so we can go. Absolutely not. I'm not going to finance your love affair with another lover. And I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are mad at God is because the only reason you want God to bless you is so you can further your love affair with the world. God is not good. There are a lot of blessings that God would give if he could trust your heart. A lot of times we say, I want to be rich. Well, why do you want to be rich?
Right.
So I can stunt, so I can have all the girls, so I can have all the business, I can do it. Try again. Because riches are not the problem. That's what we were talking about. Riches aren't the problem, your heart is. And how you deal with money is one of the greatest indicators of your spirituality that there is.
I love the point that you made that no is not an answer. That's incredible. That brought me to my children. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, 2 boys. I tell them no all the time. They want everything.
Right.
We are God's children.
Right.
We want everything.
Right.
Our Father's telling us no. Deal with it.
And he knows better than us. And I think there's if you want to say there might be a 60-40, 40-60 idolatry and arrogance. Idolatry is really I'm God and I tell God what to do. Arrogance is I know better than God. Because how dare you tell me no? I tell you no because I know better than you. And I honestly, whether it's sex.
But I want it.
But I want it. And I can't see how you giving me this would harm me. Well, you don't have to see it. My kids, I got an 8-year-old. You can't see how eating this 15 pieces of pizza is going to make your stomach hurt. You can't see that. That's why you have a father who says, no, that's your 3rd piece of pizza. That's it. Well,
Right.
Daddy, I'm so hungry. You just had 3 pieces of, you are not hungry. That's first of all, let your stomach calm down, right? But he can't see. He's mad at me. I'm just the meanest father in the world because he can't see what I can see. And if as an earthly father, I have that much more wisdom than my 8-year-old son, how much more
Right.
does our Heavenly Father know what we need? And how much more humble should we be? To be like, and one of the things I just said in the Bible study the other day, if I ever disagree with the Bible, if I ever disagree with God, 100% of the time, he's right and I'm wrong. And that's what I live by. God, I don't know about that now. You're supposed to do what now? But I always fall back to, okay, well, I can't see your wisdom on this. So, Lord, I submit because I don't have to understand before I obey. I obey in order to understand. So I believe that as I follow what you say, I'm going to see the wisdom of what you say later. Or I may die and never live to see the wisdom of what you told me to do. But that's what makes you God. That's what makes you king. I'm not king. I don't question my king. And I ask my king questions. I want to make sure that I get that clear. I ask my king questions, but I don't question my king. Like when you tell me to do something, it's yes, sir. God, now while I'm on the way to doing, obeying you, let's talk about this. What's going on? Can I understand? You got some revelation for me about why this is going to work? I mean, if not, that's cool. But I would like to know why I'm going out, go out here and leave your family and go to a place I'm going to show you. That's interesting. But I mean, I trust you. I trust God above anything.
Same.
And when my wife got cancer, we trusted God and we just believed God. And thank God. She is cancer-free today, so praise God for that. But in every step of the way, when I lost my job, my wife got cancer, I had a friend of mine tell me, because when I first got married, my marriage was trash. My marriage was the worst. I just knew, I had been counseling couples for years. I was an expert. I was a relationship expert, right? Oh, man, it's going to be easy. Man, I got married, and here go God. You're a relationship expert, huh? No, come on, expert. Come on. No, don't ask me for no, you got it.
Let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got. You know what I'm saying? But man, but I had a friend of mine ask me, how did you know that your marriage was going to get better? And I told her, that's what the Bible says. The Bible says the Lord will perfect that which concerns me. And he that hath begun a good work in me shall complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. I had no earthly reason to think that my marriage was going to get better. There was some undiagnosed mental illness things happening there. Like we didn't know what was going on. Like it didn't make sense why we couldn't get along. Both beautiful, intelligent, God-loving people couldn't get along. Fell in love, just a whirlwind romance. And as soon as we said I do, it was like, dun, dun, dun.
Things change when you say I do.
Things change. And it was almost like comical, like night and day, like somebody flipped a switch. But I say, man, there's nothing that God can't do. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I'm not a quitter.
Right.
So I said, we're going to figure it out. And there were some rough days, but whether it was sleeping on a mattress on the floor and figuring out how to get this coaching business off the ground, whether it was my marriage, whether it's starting the Power Church, whether it's doing my Power to Prosper podcast, whatever it is, I'm not a quitter. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to make it do what it do. We're going to figure out how to make it work because I feel like that's my responsibility. God gave me the gift. What I do with it is my gift back to him. What
I love about God's I guess, freedom that he's given us and the way that he wants to teach us things, there's a spectrum to it, which, right, he can go no, or he'll give it to you, and in that example of your son, he'll let him eat the 15 pizzas and have you have that stomach ache. So now you know.
Now you know. Now you know.
You know?
How you feel? How
There's
your
that
stomach feel?
spectrum.
Feeling good? Oh God, I should listen to you. But how many times, and even going along with
Right.
that, how
There's
many
that
times
too.
have we told God, if you get me out of this, I'll never do this again, only for us to get out of danger and go right back in. I told God, I don't want to be that hard. The Bible says something very insulting. The Bible says, as a dog returns to its vomit, so a fool to his folly. And I told the Lord, I don't want to be that now. Whatever it was, your body rejected it the first time. You threw it up the first time, and a dog will throw something up and go back and lick it. Get hungry enough to go back and lick it. And I say that whether it's a relationship, you broke up with the person, they come back 6 months, they didn't want to spin the block, and they're like, well, maybe they changed. No, stupid, they did
Still
not
toxic.
change. They're still toxic. But now you're weak. Now you're craving that. Now you're looking at the past with rose-colored glasses. No, they're still the same person. So yeah, that's very God. And I love the way that God knows us individually.
Yeah.
So the way he's going to lead me may not be the way that he leads you, because I might be more hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? The way my sister didn't get as many spankings as I got because she wasn't as hard-headed as I was. You know what I'm saying? I needed a little bit more hands-on approach because I was, I wasn't, and I praise God for it. But he knows what's going to be the thing that causes us to fall back in line. I love that about God.
Tell me how you feel about traditional marriage and what can we do to get America back in a place where it falls in love with that again?
That's a very good question. So I had a member come to me and say, Pastor Pridgen, you be proud of me. I said, oh, tell me. I did it God's way. I made him wait 2 months before I gave up the cookie. You did it God's? I mean, no lie, no pretense. She was bragging. She was proud to tell her pastor that she did things the virtuous way. Because that's how far gone our culture is. Yeah. That if I didn't have sex with you on the first night, I'm being holy. So we have a whole culture that has taken the Bible, closed it up, and thrown it out. So now voices in, and shout out Steve Harvey, no shade. Steve Harvey's a great businessman. I'm not sure if he should be giving relationship advice. That's just me. But the views of Joseph Pridgen do not reflect the views of Leo or any of his affiliates. This is Joseph Pridgen just speaking by himself. But listen, I don't think Steve Harvey on his third marriage should be given. And then marrying the side chick that broke up his first marriage and calling that a win. There's a lot of things that the world has accepted as normal, as right, that in order for them to fall back in love with God's definition of marriage, they have to reacquaint themselves. Right. Or for some, learn for the first time God's definition of marriage. Some people, we live in a culture right now, my generation and younger, we live in a culture where people try out marriage. Marriage, till death do us part, I mean, I said that, but no, I'm going to try it out. And one of the things I wrote in my book is we live in an upgrade society. What cell phone you got? You got a cell phone? What
iPhone.
You got? iPhone, which one?
16.
16. So nobody still has the iPhone 1, right?
No.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody's got an iPhone. Because
it's in a museum somewhere.
It's in a museum, right? So with the phone, you get a phone, you use it, you use up all this utilitarian value, then you get tired of it, you throw it away, and you get another one. And the upgrade society that we live in, that's kind of spilled over into marriage. I did like you, but now I ain't feeling you no more. So now it's irreconcilable differences. Now, in North Carolina, you used to not be able to get divorced for no reason. Now you can get divorced for no reason. Other person doesn't even have to sign the papers.
Really?
You go to the courthouse by yourself, you fill out the paperwork by yourself, certain amount of months pass, you're divorced. So we're living in a society that has said God's rules are trash. God's. And one thing I tell people, if the word laws bothers you, if the word rules bothers you, if you feel so much in bondage, I use the word principles because people understand if you disregard the principles, you can do that, but don't expect God's promises if you disrespect God's principles. Don't say, well, hey, man, here's your life jacket. Make sure you got your life jacket. No, I don't need no life jacket. Then you're out in the middle of the ocean drowning. God, why you let me drown? I didn't let you drown. You chose to disregard the principle, and your drowning is a result of you not using the life vest that I gave you. So all of this baby mama drama. Listen, so this is one thing. I'm not going to go off on this because I could talk for years about relationships. Mr. Pridgen, this is when I was teaching. Mr. Pridgen, them girls crazy. I said, no, they're not crazy. You are. What you mean? You had sex with her, right? Yeah. You told her you love her, right? Yeah. You crazy. A woman's heart is like the spikes at the car rental place. You go down forward, what do? What do spikes do? They lay down for you.
Yeah.
If you try to back up, what's going to happen? They're going to blow your tires out. Because a woman's heart was only designed to go one way. That's why God gave a woman walls to put around her heart. And you tried your best to break down all her defenses, break down all her walls, to get inside her heart, to look around and say, oh, it's nice in here, mess around and knock stuff over and say, okay, I'm done, and you want to leave.
Yeah.
And then when she starts spazzing out, you call her crazy. But she's not the crazy one. You were crazy for thinking that you could go in and be intimate with her without commitment, because intimacy without commitment always produces pain. So how do we get the world back on track to actually love? They can read my book. I have a book about marriage. But listen.
What's it called?
I'm changing the name. That's why I was giving the leadership, but I'm changing the name.
Okay.
Because the name was misleading for a couple people, so I wanted to make sure that I get it right. But we're changing it to Happily Ever After, ? The truth about marriage and relationships. And the premise is there's a reason why every fairy tale you've ever read ends at marriage. And they lived happily ever after, the end. No marriage in the history of marriage has ever lived happily ever after.
That's why it's a fairy tale.
That's a fairy tale. And once people figure out that marriage is not one long romantic date, now they're angry. Dating does not prepare you for marriage.
No.
I'm telling you, it's a whole thesis that I have about this. So people are caught off guard.
Do you think that living together before marriage does or no?
I don't, because there's nothing, you don't have divine help without the spiritual covenant. So the thing about living together, and the statistics support this, people who cohabitate before marriage have less of a chance of making it than people who don't. Because if I cohabitate with you, I always have in the back of my mind, no matter how bad the argument gets or no matter how bad the frustration gets, I can always leave. And there'll be no consequence. So we coming together, we want to share bills, it's cheaper to do it this way. Now we're having sex. Now, old folks used to call it playing house.
Right.
We're playing house. And
that.
The world has said that is the way to do it. Let me not say the world. You ready for this? I went to a church conference.
Okay.
A church conference. I was single at the time. And somebody asked the pastor, over 2,000 members, I won't call his name because some of your listeners might know him, said, Pastor, should we get married without having sex? Or what if I'm not sexually compatible, with the person? Should I have sex for marriage? And this man told a whole biblical parable saying that Jesus was saying only a fool wouldn't try it before you buy it. That's what this pastor said. You got to try it out because we're not sexually compatible.
You got to look under the hood first.
Under the hood, man. You got to look, man. We got to be like, hey, man, I like this. But first of all,
that's crazy.
If you have not accepted that marriage is God's institution, then we've already lost. So if you buy a Lamborghini, there's no way you're going to spend $900,000 or $1 million on a Lamborghini and take that Lamborghini to a shade tree mechanic.
Right.
Nobody in their right mind, some not in their right minds, would never take a Lamborghini fresh off the lot to a shade tree mechanic if it started making noise, engine started knocking. You're not doing it. You wouldn't take it to a Honda dealership.
No.
You have enough respect for that Lamborghini and how precious it is. I'm going to take it to the one who created it. And once you realize that marriage is God's institution, God created it, God knows how to bless it, and God is the only one who has the right to define it, that's when you look to his book for answers. Here's the thing, when I want to make religious people itchy, I say, if you're having sex with your wife and you can't imagine Jesus Christ at the foot of your bed saying, go ahead, dog, Go on, get that. Go on, tear it up, boy. Well, go on, make it, do it now. If you can't imagine that, your whole view of sex has been perverted by the world. Satan didn't create sex. God created sex. There are lots of animals in the animal kingdom who do not have sex for pleasure. God could have made sex for humans purely for procreation. And there are some, I won't call the name of the sex, there are some Christians who believe sex shouldn't be pleasurable. Sex should just be for procreation. You shouldn't even enjoy it.
Right.
That's stupid. God made a clitoris. God made her urethra. God made my orgasm. God made her multiple ones. I'm mad she got multiple. Let's talk about that. You know, she got multiple. How she got multiples? I ain't got. But the point is, God made all of that. And God can teach me in the bonds of holy matrimony how to give my wife multiple orgasms. That is holy, that is divine, and that makes me a righteous and godly husband, to be able to please my wife and for her to be able to please me.
And it bonds the two of you even
bonds
closer.
us together.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a husband and wife coming together in every way. Intimacy of conversation, intimacy physically, intimacy. The most intimate thing, and you know, don't judge me. I'm a Cancer. You know, I don't know if people believe that, but I'm very emotional. The most powerful bonding that me and my wife can do is sit together and talk about our dreams. As we share our hearts, of course, you know, something physical. Once I did all that, you know, I'm definitely trying to do something physical at that point. But I love, what do you want? Okay, we talked about when we first got married 15 years ago. This is what we wanted to do. This is where we wanted to be. And the Lord has blessed us. Some things have come true. Some things we're still looking for. But now, has anything changed? Is there anything you want to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to move? How are we going to raise our children? We got 3 boys. God gave us 3 boys. 8-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And certainly, we thought we were done with the 8-year-old and the 4-year-old because they're totally different, completely opposite personalities. So we got it. We got the this one and that one. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
The third one came. We said, we know we got a girl. Because there's no other reason to give us another child unless you're just going to round it out with a girl. You know, so we got 3 boys. So the Lord has something amazing for our sons to do. And now at 46, I'm 46 years old, I'm already looking to legacy. I'm looking, okay, what are my sons seeing their father say and seeing their father do? Have they ever heard me say, that's too expensive? No, they've never heard me say that. Because I'm wiring their brain to say nothing is too expensive because we pay for it out of the blessing. So nothing. So when we talk about how we're gonna do it, I say no. You gotta do your chores. You gotta do this. You gotta earn this. You gotta work on this. So making sure that they know that they have options. Me and my wife are debating right now whether we're gonna send our children to college, or to see what natural gifts they have and what they gravitate to. Because listen, you can go to college. If you want to be an engineer, go to college. You want to be a doctor, for God's sake, don't be working on nobody's body. You ain't been to college.
I agree.
But there are other things that may not require a college.
I agree
degree.
100%.
So we really, right now, legacy is what type of man. God chose to give me 3 boys. Am I being the man that he wants me to be in front of them? And am I showing them how to love my wife in front of them? Because I think that one of the greatest things that a man can do for his sons is love their mother.
I agree. I feel the exact same way. I have 2 boys. I feel the exact same way.
Like you got if you out here talking about your mama trash, your mama this, your mama that, I mean, how am I supposed to feel? If every time I talk to you talking trash about my mama, like that's something that's up with it. And again, God tried to spare us baby mama drama. And let me say this while I'm here. You talk about Sierra and Russell Wilson and Future and, you know, another man raising your son. We were never supposed to be in this situation. If somebody sends, if you got 4 kids by 4 different baby daddies, and I sent my son a PlayStation and you got them other boys playing with it, or I sent $400 for his school clothes and you split it amongst the 4, who's right and who's wrong? We should never have been in those situations. I'm not supposed to have children with a woman who has children with 17 other people and she's not with me today. We were supposed to get married, then have children, then work out our differences along the way. So now who's right and who's wrong? Nobody's right. That baby daddy out there is his father. She got 4 kids by 4 baby daddies. There's no right answer to that question. And that's why people love to talk about it on social media. There is no right answer. She got 4 kids by 4 baby daddies. She's managing her money the best way she can. If I give one child the PlayStation, or I give one child $400 worth of school clothes and the other children are in tattered clothes, that's gonna mess up my house. Obviously I wouldn't do that. So now you got confusion because the devil is the author of confusion. He doesn't care who thinks they're right or who thinks they're wrong, as long as we're all mad, as long as we're all arguing, as long as there's confusion.
Yeah. It's almost like, here, have it.
Right.
Here's your candy.
Here's your candy. Listen,
Take it.
nothing bad is going to happen because the enemy doesn't want you to worship him. The enemy just doesn't want you to worship God. He says, I could never think of all the creative ways for you to destroy yourself that you could. Just reject him.
Wow. Say that one more time, please.
So the devil doesn't want you to worship the devil. He just doesn't want you to worship God. As long as you reject God's authority in your life, you will do the devil's work for him. You will create all the ways to destroy yourself. If your flesh is left to its own devices, devil can sit back. That's why I said my greatest enemy, my Goliath, is my flesh. My Goliath is my desire that I may have baptized that's really just me. I may have said, this is God, this is the love.
Why are we so good at sabotaging ourselves?
I think it's, well, I don't want to cop out and say human nature, but I think it is human nature. I think I was into Greek mythology back in the day with tragic heroes. I think so many people wrote about tragic heroes who had superheroes, but they had that one kind of flaw, because I think that's
like
real life.
Achilles
with the Achilles heel. I think that's real life. You have a Kanye West who is brilliant, gifted from God.
Yeah, literally.
But has a challenge, a mental challenge, some things going on. And as brilliant and as gifted as you are, self-destructive behavior. And in my life, in my brief little life, the greater the gifting, the greater the challenge. There's a lot of people who are supernaturally gifted, but a lot comes with that.
Yeah.
And if you're not really locked in with the Lord, those demons, because I mean, whether you look at Will Smith, whether you look at Bill Cosby, you could the role goes on and on to infinity, like people who are supernaturally amazing. And the only people who you would say are not on that list are the people whose stuff we don't know, because everybody's on the list. The people who are supernaturally gifted fight supernatural demons, all of them.
What's that famous line? With great power comes
great responsibility. It's the truth, man. It's absolutely
Uncle
the truth. And I'm trying my best to say, maybe you can't defeat everything. Maybe you can't win all the battles, but maybe you can keep winning. Maybe you can keep growing. Maybe you can say, okay, I recognize that I deal with that. And maybe we can create a culture that says, let's not demonize people who struggle. Because here's the thing, we all struggle. So there's two types of people who struggles we know and people who struggles we don't. And we've created a culture where people are hiding their struggles because nobody wants to be attacked. We're in a cancel culture. So we're quick to cancel people. If you say one thing I don't like, you're canceled. If you do one thing wrong, but all that doesn't create a culture of good people. It creates a culture of good pretenders. It doesn't create a culture of righteous, good people. No. It creates a culture
where censoring.
You're censoring. So so now that I know that if anybody struggles, anybody shows you any weakness, you're going to attack them. I can't get rid of the weakness. I'm just not going to show you. Right. So now I'm lying to you. Now I'm hiding. Now whatever I'm struggling with, the pain, the poison, it's worsening. Because I can't get healed. Because I can't admit that I'm struggling. I go to the doctor. The doctor says, what's wrong? I'm fine. Everything's good. Doc Cleveland, like, oh, what's that bleeding? No, that's not blood. I got some red dye on my shirt. No, I'm good. No, I can go? Okay, good. So it just gets worse and worse. And we never address issues because we're afraid. And that's why I love this podcast space, because people are being vulnerable and being honest and saying, hey, these are some things I struggle with. And at least to some degree, we're kind of allowing people some space to kind of say, it's okay. Because you really don't have to give people permission. People are going to struggle whether you say it's okay or not. But let's just have a space where we can say it and not get attacked. And I'm thankful for you for a podcast where hopefully we can do that.
So let's do that, Pastor. Yes, how can we give people hope? How can we show people a couple of steps that they can take in order to get out of their rut, to get out of their overthinking, to get out of their own way?
The first step for me would be surrender. I have no hope in this life other than the Lord leading and guiding and directing my steps. That's my hope. So
Break that down to me. What does surrender mean to you? Because I think a lot of people misunderstand that word and they think that they have to be a slave.
I say, right. So when I say surrender, and this is colored differently for me, so you can take from it what you will. But for me, it starts with God is really smart, right? So even if I was coming from a secular standpoint, He created everything. He's been around forever. He's seen everything. It might make sense. We listen to Warren Buffett. He's in the 80s?
Yeah.
Because he's got a good experience. He's got success winning. Somebody who's been around a long time, got a lot of success winning, I don't think it could go worse than God. Like, I don't know. That's just me. So the first thing is, when I listen to God, I follow God, not out of some blind sense of religious duty. I follow God because, and this is my words, because I'm not stupid. Because He's smart, and for me, it will be stupid for me to deny somebody who is that much smarter than me. Second thing is, it's His world. He created the world, so He has the right to run it. The Bible says the earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So there are a lot of people who don't believe what I believe, but I pull from Morpheus in the Matrix. It don't matter what they believe. My beliefs do not require you to believe what I believe. I believe God is God, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
And I don't need you. I'm not going to browbeat you. You say, well, I believe Allah. Praise God. I believe I'm God. I believe this tree is God. Pray. Listen, let me know how that works out for you. I am under no compulsion to try to convince you or to try to steal what you believe. My hope and what I believe would give you hope is being filled with the Spirit of God and allowing Him to lead you. And one of the things that I say, to go back to the hope piece, if success was what they taught us success was, then Robin Williams, Whitney Houston, and Michael Jackson would still be alive. And now you can add Twitch, you can add Bourdain, you can add Kate Spade. Kate Spade was worth over $2 billion, and she unalived herself.
Amy Winehouse, Kurt
Cobain. Yeah. So it's like there's so many people who, for all intents and purposes, had achieved what everybody wants to achieve. They're successful, had the money, had this, had that. But that can't be the definition of success. If you can have all the accolades, Michael Jackson, I mean, all the accolades, decades of success. I mean,
the king,
transcending music. Like, I mean, people passing out like they had a religious experience at his concert. And at a time when he should have been resting on his laurels and enjoying his children, literally telling a doctor, I don't want to live anymore. There's got to be more to this. So there are three things that people are looking for in this world. The three things that they're looking for love, joy, and peace. Those three things they're looking for. And it just so happens that those three things are the first three fruit of the Spirit. Say, Joseph Pridgen, people are looking for money. People are looking for money. So when I do my speeches, I go around and say, listen, all right, I'm going to give somebody $100 million. Who wants it? Everybody raising their hand, I say, who really wants it? Come on up to the front. Come up to the front. Who really? And somebody will come up to the front. I say, okay, I'm going to give you $100 million. They're like, all right, I'll take it. But your mom is going to get cancer, and you're going to get in a car accident. You're going to be paralyzed from the neck down. You still want the $100 million? Oh, God, no. What do you mean? No, that's crazy. So you don't really want the $100 million. What you want is the love, joy, and peace that you thought $100 million was going to bring. That's what everybody wants. Everybody wants love, they want joy, and they want peace. Why do you want $100 million? So I can finally relax, so I can have some peace. I ain't got to worry about these bills over my head.
Right.
The guy that drove me over here, I was like, how was your day today? He's, man, it's been pretty busy. I was like, is that cool? He's like, yeah, well, it's better than not, man. Got to make this money, got to pay these bills. And I was saddened.
Deflated, right?
Deflated, because I was like, man, his whole mindset was, I've got to do something I don't really want to do because my whole life centers around paying bills. And so when we're talking about hope, the first step is breaking out of that system. And this is what Jesus taught. Jesus said, come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. I'm gentle and lowly of heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And for most people, Christian or non, easy and light is not a description of their lives.
No.
When God pronounced the curse, he said, through painful toil, you will get your food. By the sweat of your brow, for dust you are, to dust you return. So painful toil and sweat is the currency of the curse. Easy and light is the currency of the kingdom. And when I go places, I say, well, now which one of y'all living? Which one is a good description of your life? Which one? Prophet Biggie Smalls said, more money, more problems. That's what Biggie Smalls told. Biggie said, more money, more problems. But the Bible says the blessing of the Lord maketh rich and addeth no sorrow. Now, which one is it? Now, it can't be both. I would submit there are two different kingdoms. One kingdom, everything you get, you got to work hard for it. You got to strain, you got to struggle, you got to hustle, you got to grind. One kingdom says grind, the other kingdom says grace. And they're antithetical kingdoms.
There's literally a song that used to go, F the world, don't ask me for shit.
Everything you get, you got to work hard for it. Honey, I remember that. That's why I got it to stop. No, but look, hip-hop taught us a lot of bad theology. I mean, money, power, respect. That's the key to life.
Money, power, respect.
That's what you need in life. That's what you need. They taught us, so people don't believe you were learning a philosophy of life, a religion, but you were. Hip hop was teaching us a religion, and now all this stuff coming out with Diddy. I'm like, man, who was I listening to?
Crazy.
Lord have mercy. Because to this day, there are Jay-Z, Biggie, and Busta Rhymes lyrics that live. Unexposable, whatever. You can't kick them out, what I'm saying?
Sure.
Of my head. Like, they just live there.
If
you say the wrong word, like I said, money, power, respect. If you say the wrong word, it's going to trigger the whole lyric. So now I have to rewire my brain because late 70s, early 80s hip-hop was poverty. They were rapping about money because they didn't have any. And everything was about getting next dollar, whether it was being a stick-up kid, whether it was doing whatever I got to do, whether it was selling out to the whatever it is. Everything was about getting money because I didn't have any money.
Right.
So they made us unduly focused on money. And now we find out TLC didn't have no money. They were singing about Scrubs when they was Scrubs. We find out all these people signing record deals, and that $500,000 they got, that wasn't money, that was a loan. We thought they was balling. They weren't balling. They had to recoup that. They had to be slaves going out on tour, recouping the money for the record company. See, we didn't know that. We were worshiping Criss Cross, like back in my day, they were our contemporary. Criss Cross and, all those guys, like, no, they're
It's all an act.
It's all an act. Show business. No different than selling peanut butter, selling crack, selling music. It's a business, and the greatest thugs were in the industry. So for me now, it's like the guys that I grew up idolizing, that the life that I thought I wanted was not the life that I thought I wanted. So now I got me a beautiful woman. She loved God. She loved me. I got a beautiful house. I'm home. I don't be out in these streets. I ain't outside. All of y'all that's outside, we here for a lot of y'all. Y'all outside. I'm inside. The people are running into churches, killing pastors, shooting up churches.
It's crazy.
The enemy is running free. He's alive. And it's not, I expect the devil to be the devil. I expect people who are filled with the devil to act like people who are filled with the devil. The problem is those of us who claim to know God, those of us who claim to be led by his spirit, we are saying nothing. We are allowing the culture to slide worse and worse and worse. And now men want the sex, women want the money. So like I said earlier, if you want to go on a date, you got to take me shopping. Right. And now there's whole videos about gold diggers. They're exposing this guy, say, hey, honey, can I holler at you? No, I don't want to holler at you. You ugly. And he goes and gets in this Lamborghini. And they say, oh, hey, baby, I was just playing. I was having a bad day. Like there's a whole thing of videos you can watch. And not to pick on women, because there's trifling men out there too. But the trope of the man who drops you off at work, drives your car around all day, then goes home and plays video games, smoke weed. But because he's laying good pipe,
right?
You allow him to live that lifestyle. The whole world needs to be unplugged and plugged back in again, man. We need a factory reset. And as long, again, I want to say I hope it doesn't sound like I'm browbeating. I don't want to browbeat anybody. I don't want you to believe what I believe because I believe it. But my thing is, I do want you to look at the success that the Lord has allowed me to achieve in my life and say there is a different way. These YNs out here, there's a whole culture of how they talk to women, how they act in the club. I don't even go to the club. Not necessarily for religious reasons, but because there's always something crazy going on. Somebody shooting, somebody getting mad. Or and when I was young, I'll say this. First time I went to the strip club, true story. There was a young lady and she was like, you want to dance? I was like, nah, I'm good. Oh, why are you broke? You broke, why you got to do it? And so it was all about, if you don't have enough money to finance whatever it is that I want to do. Like the fact, we live in a culture now where if I look good, that is the skill that I bring to the marketplace. You know, for the rest of us, we actually have to bring skills and value to the marketplace. That is the value. I look pretty. Why should I take you out and spend $2,000 in the mall? Because I'm pretty. End of story. End of discussion. That's it. That's worth money.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, no, I ain't here to knock your hustle, baby. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. But for me, that's not value to them. It's lots of pretty women.
Tons
of pretty women. That's not enough. And I was too young to understand. Prophet Heavy D said, I got nothing but love for you. He said, you leave it up to me, I close the whole store on you. I got nothing but love. I got nothing but love for you. So I didn't know. I thought I was like, I got nothing but love for you. I thought he was just saying it like that. But he was saying women were coming up to him asking him for money. And he's saying, all I got for you is love. I ain't got no money. I'm not going to finance this thing where you think,
correct,
just because you're pretty, I'm going to finance your lifestyle. For me, that's repulsive. For me, that's toxic. And so then you got a woman going out on a date saying, this man expect to smash because, you know, he doing this, he bought me this, he bought me that. Well, first of all, why did you make money a prerequisite for your romantic encounter? There's a word for people who require money for romantic encounters. That word is prostitute. That's the word. That's a word that describes women who require financial output as a prerequisite for romantic input.
Right.
That's prostitution. So I say that to say, listen, the whole culture, how do we get the culture back on track? How do we get people back with hope? You gotta go back to the factory reset of the word without the manufacturer. So how do I run my Lamborghini without taking my Lamborghini back to the Lamborghini dealership? You can't. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna try to fix it yourself.
Right.
And invariably something's gonna go wrong. So unless I take my Lamborghini back to the dealership, as long as I let Pookie work on the Lambo, it's only a matter of time before the whole thing falls apart. You know what I'm saying? So that's really my thought process on it.
Do you think things are going exactly as they're supposed to be?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? Because there are people like you who are a bright light, who are shining the light and casting out the darkness slowly, person by person.
Right.
You know? I think we are finally at a period of time where we have so many enlightened people.
Right.
That I think eventually we're gonna shine so bright,
right,
that we're gonna just light up the darkness.
I think so. And the other side to that is, in this information age where you got YouTube, where you have influencers, where you have motivational speakers, positive people who are dark in this period are people who choose darkness. People choose ignorance. People choose darkness. Jesus said it perfectly. He said, the poor you will have with you always. And it's not because anybody has to be poor. But it's because some people will just always choose poverty mindset habits.
Yeah.
And so for me, Jesus said, don't cast your pearls before swine. So for me, I'm willing to liberate everybody who genuinely desires to be liberated. But for those who want to scroll, social media and watch the news and talk about how bad things are and Trump this and Democrats that or Republicans this or Fox News that, and I've been saying, hey man, you might want to watch Programming Your Mind with the Negative News Cycle, no matter who you're following. You might want to watch Programming Your Mind with that all day long. You watching CNN all day. You watching Fox News all day. Why? Like, what is it doing? You're programming. You've heard the term computer programming. You're programming your brain. What are you programming your brain to do? Think constantly negative all the time.
It's called a channel for a reason. It's channeling into your mind.
Absolutely.
And it's broadcasting.
It's broadcasting. And you're like, but you got people who are still afraid. I had a lady leave my church, true story. You got people who are still afraid of the word frequency. Afraid. If you mention frequency, it's the occult, it's new age, you're one of them. Frequency is a science word. Stop being stupid. People are stupid. People are so unwilling to embrace something if it sounds unfamiliar.
Right.
So for me, whether you choose spirit or whether you want to say what frequency are you on, don't be a constantly negative person. Don't be the person who can find a problem for every solution. And we all know that person. If you tell them, man, I just won $100 million. Oh, good for you, but them taxes. Man, I just got a promotion on my job. Well, good for you, but they're going to want more hours. The person who always finds something negative to say, but whatever it is. So again, the people, there's a speech I do, a little point that talks about when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I wanted to slap somebody when I discovered that lemons are not a naturally occurring fruit.
They're not.
So
So sad.
So that literally means life never gave you lemons.
Never.
So
You
now
made it.
you made it. And I think there's no more apropos analogy than that.
I agree.
All of your problems, you cry, oh, these lemons, let me just try to make some lemonade. No, you made it up. Everything is. You make it good, you make it bad. And I'll land the plane with this. I'm talking about perspective and the frequency that you're on. There's a story told about a man who lost his job, got fired from his job, and he was devastated. He went on this bender, he was crying, he started drinking, then he started smoking, and that wasn't doing it. He started popping pills, started smoking crack. Just went on this bender for about a month. 30 days passed, his phone rings. He answers the phone, and he says, is this Mr. Such and Such? He says, yeah. He said, this is your dream job calling. And we heard you got let go from the other job. We wanted to wait a little respectful amount of time, but we know we've been following your career for the last 20 years. We know who you are. You're amazing. We want you to get in this position. This position is going to be 5 times your previous salary. You don't even have to interview you. We don't have to interview. We know who you are. Just come in, pass the drug test, and you're hired. So, of course, he doesn't get the job. And the question that I ask the people is, why didn't he get the job? Did he not get the job because he got depressed? Did he not get the job because he smoked and crack and drank and did all that? No, he didn't get the job because when he lost his job, he allowed himself to think, this is a bad thing. And I can give myself an excuse to do bad things because I view something that happened in my life as a bad thing. Nothing that happens in your life is a bad thing. The Bible says all things work together for good and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So even if it was in a vacuum, a bad thing, it's still working for good. Just like vanilla extract. If you taste vanilla extract, it tastes bad by itself, but when you put it in a cake mix, it works together for good. So I live my life. Everything that happens to me is the best possible thing that could happen to me.
I want to get a pastor's view on AI.
Okay.
What do you think of it? Where do you think it's going? How do you think society is going to be in 20 years?
AI is beautiful. To be quite honest, and I was going to say I don't understand, but I do understand. When you have not found your purpose, AI scares you. Because AI is taking the jobs of people who haven't found purpose.
That's deep.
God sent you here with a code inside you to be able to create something that nobody else can create. No machine, no other human being can do what you were created to do. But if you're not doing it, if you're doing a job that is replaceable, you should be afraid of being replaced. I have a lot of friends who, back in 2015, were pushing, we need to raise the wage for fast food workers. And while I agree that, pay people, a decent wage,
right,
nobody's purpose is to work at Burger King.
Right.
And I get a lot of flack. People come at me about that, but that's not your purpose. Maybe getting paid $14 an hour at Burger King is helping you stay hungry so you actually figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Brian Acton and Jan Koum. Most people never heard of him. They applied for jobs at Facebook, got rejected. They were computer software engineers, and they were dejected. Maybe the jobs they were playing, somewhere between 80,000, 150,000, whatever. But they got rejected. And they were like, what are we going to do? So they put their heads together, and they came up with this app, an app that was encrypted. You could make encrypted calls all over the world, and nobody could hack into it. And they said, we're going to name it WhatsApp. And they sold it to Facebook for like $19 billion, something crazy. I don't forget the exact number.
Yeah.
But the point is, they had been denied the wonderful opportunity to make $80,000 a year so that they could make $19 billion. So again, when you're saying, oh my God, we should fight harder for people to get paid $20 an hour to flip burgers, should we though? Or should we allow life to put them in positions that force them to create something amazing? So when we talk about AI is helping creators create. AI is doing the menial jobs that nobody should be doing anyway. So like if you're editing this or promoting this or curating that, do that so that I can use my mind to do things that only my mind can do. Right. So if you're afraid, I'm saying this flat-footed, if you're afraid of AI taking your job, all you've really said is you haven't found your purpose. You can do something new even in an old space. So there's something, if you haven't created anything, if you're only consuming, That's why you feel scared of AI. And that's why you believe in scarcity. Because scarcity is not real. Scarcity is a myth. If you're only a consumer, you believe in scarcity because the more you consume, the less there is. But if you are a creator, I have an infinite supply of abundance to create from. So I can never run out of money because I can never run out of value. I can never run out of value because I could never run out of inner creativity. So the world is my oyster. Listen, I love it. I'm saying, how much this costs? You're not scared of prices going up? My parents are from the old school. We drove, Helen, we got to get up, go right now. Because the gas on the corner is $2.50 and it was $2.50. I'm like, Ma, you 5 cents? You gonna stop? I came over to hang out. You gonna get up right now and rush to the gas station to save 5 cents per gallon? Does that really matter? Is that really a thing? But I used to be there. I used to care. I drive across town for 3 cents because I thought those things mattered. That was a lot of money to me then. So, hopefully somebody's getting some new, like this dude crazy. Like, what is he talking about?
No, it's incredible. Incredible.
Hopefully somebody's getting something out of it.
Where do you want to be by 50?
Ooh, 50 is in 4 years. Where do I want to be by 50? I want to have fully transitioned into speaking full time. I want to have obviously I will always do the church because the church for me is just the lab where we practice what I'm preaching. Like, right. So the church is always there, the community of believers, where if you're considering suicide or considering leaving your marriage or you're losing your mind, like that's the lab. But at 50, I want to be traveling. I want to be shining light in Florida, in Texas, in London, in Mexico. I'm really concerned about Dubai and the influence that they have. And I'm like, man, they're buying up the world. They're literally doing kingdom things. Their influence, their culture, their way of life, their money. They have the money to spread their influence.
They sure do.
By 50, I want to have the money to spread the influence of the kingdom of God all over the world, to give hope, to tell people that you don't have to go paycheck to paycheck. Doesn't have to be your life forever. You don't have to work for 65 years only to retire for 10 and then be too sick to go anywhere or do anything. Like, that's not real life.
No.
It shouldn't be your real life. So that's my goal. I want to speak. There's nothing I love more than getting on a stage and looking in somebody's eyeballs. Even if it's 5,000 people in the room, I'll pick one eyeball, looking in the eyeballs, and I say something, and I see a light come on. That's it. There's no better high. There's no drug. There's no that. Like, that is it, knowing that God gave me a revelation, and I can speak it, and your life is different.
He worked through you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
incredible. Sir. What would you say to someone that has lost hope?
Has lost hope?
That has lost faith. Can't find their way.
I would. So I do coaching. So for me, that's an open-ended coaching question, because then I would say, okay, talk to me about what happened. Because for me, that would be individual to that person. Tell me what happened. When was the last time you remember having hope? What happened? What happened that you lost hope? Did somebody die? Did you have something that you wanted to happen, an opportunity, it crashed and burned? Somebody betrayed you? Something happened. There's a trigger moment there. And what did you expect God to do in that moment that he didn't do? Or what did you expect to go right for you? Or I'm 50 years old and I'm nowhere near where I wanted to be by 50, and now I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. Like, whatever your jump off spot is, we can go from there. But I got to find out where this is how I got here, and this is why I'm not feeling it. Because life, we have normalized every now and then you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Every now and then you just be in a bad mood for no reason. We've normalized that.
We really have.
If you woke up with a splitting headache, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, sometimes I just have migraines. I'm not going to take any medicine. I'm not going to take it seriously. I'm just going to whoop-de-doo. How do people say whoop-de-doo? I'm just whoop-de-doo. You know, no. If you woke up with a migraine, you'd be like, yo, let me get some Excedrin. Let me get something. This is not normal. This is not something I'm going to just accept and say, this is my new way of life. I have headaches all the time. No.
Right.
If I wake up in a bad mood, no, what happened? No, I got good sleep last night, hopefully. Woke up, you know what I'm saying? Life is good. Why am I in a bad? Why would I wake up not refreshed? Why would I wake up sad, angry, depressed? people hate Mondays. People don't hate Mondays, they hate their lives. If you don't like Monday, you don't like your life. Monday and Friday are only different in your mind.
Correct.
Because you've told yourself.
Money's a tool, it's energy.
Yeah, it's energy. It's all energy. And why is yours toxic when you think about your life?
Right.
So that's kind of bad. So we got to look at that. And I think we have, if you've decided that your life is about paying bills and your life is about doing a job that allows you to pay bills, regardless of whether I'm fulfilling purpose or feeling fulfilled at my job, then you've already kind of set yourself up for a bad life. So you're living for weekends, you're living for the 2 weeks you get to take a vacation. That's the only joy. And now you're getting drunk a lot. And now if you're single, hopefully you're single, you're engaging in illicit sexual activity a lot because sex gives you that brief moment of escape.
Right.
It's another drug.
The dopamines.
A dopamine. Because I don't like my life. If you like the best deterrent to YN behavior, I have a nonprofit geared toward that. The best deterrent is to find your gifting. I'm not sticking nobody up. I'm not robbing nobody. I'm not getting 17 girls pregnant if I'm really good at painting. And I really found my art. And I can, when I get depressed, when I get sad, when I get angry, I can go in the studio and just put it all on a canvas. Like, that is a huge deterrent for people doing stupid stuff out here in these streets.
Right.
I think a lot of people are pent up. Their creativity is pent up. We were created by a creator to be creative. So if you work a job where they don't allow you to be creative, you're frustrated. And you may not know that you're frustrated. You angry at your coworkers, fussed at your coworkers, mad at your boss, and you don't know why, because I was working at AT&T Wireless. True story. And they had a policy that was just stupid. And we were on the phones, and it was killing us on the phones. I went to my boss, I said, listen, this policy, I know y'all big wigs said up there in the C-suite that this is what we need to do, but it's not working in the streets. Let me tell you, we could tweak this, we could do this, and it would be gangbusters, right? And my boss, and I owe him lunch for this. I don't know where he is now, but I owe him lunch for this. He looked at me with a look that you give for just the handicap, like just somebody who's just completely gone. He just said, that decision was made way above your pay grade. Go back on them phones and do what we told you to do. And it was at that moment I said, oh, thank you. You just told me we're not paying you to think.
Correct.
We're paying you to do what people who are smarter than you have thought. I said, oh, okay. Okay, thank you for that, because somebody is going to pay me to think. Thank you for that. So I'm going to quit this job, and I'm going to build my own intellectual property, and somebody's going to pay me for the way that I think. Because if y'all can do this and make this much money, clearly I can do something, because y'all trash. This is horrible. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that my thought process would not be valued there. I knew my creativity would not be valued there. And that's the same thing that kind of happened at the church. Every institution I've gone to, control was more important than innovation. And I'm like, if I really want to innovate the way I feel like innovating, I'm going to have to build my own. And instead of begging for, to use a cliche, instead of begging for a seat at their table, every time I beg for a seat at their table, it always crashes and burns, because I grow faster than they can handle. So I got to build my own. So that's where josephpridgen.com, that's where the publishing company, I wrote a book. Writing a book was hard. Publishing a book was harder. Once I figured out how to do it, I said, the Lord told me other people are going to give up. I resubmitted my digital cover 10 times.
Wow.
10 times. And this is before the times where you could click and do the previewer and it could tell you in a matter of seconds. This was when you sent it in and you had to wait 24 hours for them to tell you got it wrong. You got this right, but now this is wrong. Fix this. And you would fix it, send it back, and you had to wait another 24 hours. Then, okay, well, you fixed that, but now these margins are off. And I'm like, come on. Like, I literally would have given up. And the Lord said, the way you kept going, somebody that I've given a book to, they're going to give up. So I need you to start a publishing company. Even to the degree that I was going to quit the publishing company, and the Lord told me, you can't quit, because this is not a business, this is a ministry. I have given people a word, and they don't know how to publish it, so they're sitting on the word, and somebody's solution is in the book that she won't write.
Wow.
So my publishing company is a bridge. It's a solution for the person who has the solution for the person who has the problem.
How many books have you published?
About 50. About 50 right
That's
now.
incredible.
Yeah, so it's we still trying to get there, man. And we're more of a boutique kind of operation. I don't do, because my prices are not, If you want to publish a book for $200, go somewhere else. But that's all we do. But what we do is we teach people how to become not just authors but entrepreneurs. So making money while you sleep. How do you promote the book? How do you turn the book into 6 streams of income? I ain't gonna give away my intellectual property, but I will say this: just because you're on the podcast, you got me on the podcast. You know, as a speaker, having a published book gets me speaking engagements.
For sure.
And when I go on the speaking engagements, I sell the book. So the book gets me speaking engagements. The speaking engagements help me sell the book. I don't sell my book as a vendor. I only sell my book as a speaker. Like they have trade shows or you got flea markets. I don't sell my book at those types of things. No. Once you hear me speak, then come to my table. Because $30, why the book got to be $30? Don't worry about it. Go buy that $10 book over there. But once you hear me speak, I say $30. They say, where do I sign? You got Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, what you got? That's it. So once they get the value, they know they want the book.
I'm going to end with this question. What do you think the power of making a brand is in 2026?
A brand is so important because most people don't understand what a brand is. A brand is a picture that tells a story. It has a feeling. How do you make people feel? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? And I think in 2026, branding is everything. And branding is why people are getting canceled. Because I don't know if it was Versace or one of those people who had humans draped on other humans, and it was like, people want to know, like, and trust, right? People want that. They want people they can know, like, and trust, which is why, whether you're talking about BET or Nike or whoever these big behemoth names are.
Right.
It used to be, I need BET to discover me. Now, BET wants me. You know, they're saying, well, listen, we're looking for influencers. We're looking for people who have street cred because big names, Gen Z doesn't want. They don't trust big names anymore. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of mistrust there. So they want their local influencer that they know, like, and trust. And will you put our brand on you? Which is why my wife has like 20, 30 endorsements right now on TikTok with 12,000 followers.
That's incredible.
12,000 followers.
Good for her.
She got, she's making so much money.
That's awesome.
My porch is ridiculous. It's 7-8 packages on my front porch every day. People are preemptively sending, will you make a video about this? Because that's what TikTok is looking for. She has one video that has over 100,000 views. So we get into the million mark. But I mean, just people are looking for authentic, real, relatable people. So as a brand, and this is for me as in ministry as well, being fake is exhausting. I grew up watching a lot of fake people. I grew up watching a lot of rappers who were no more thugs than me or you.
Right.
But that was the image that, well, you might be, I don't know, you might be. I'm not no thug.
I was not. Never was.
Never was. Like, that's not my hair. I told my wife, like, I'm a thug. She's like, no, babe, no, you're not.
No.
Like, no, you don't get my street cred. No, you don't know. You be a lot of things, but a thug ain't one of them. What do y'all think? Do I look hard? Do I give street thug? Do I give... Okay, sorry, I don't know. Anyway, but so I grew up watching a lot of fake people, but people are seeing through, particularly in church, people are seeing through the minutia. They're seeing through the facades. A lot of people are getting exposed.
Yes.
A lot of people are getting exposed. And you wouldn't have to worry about getting exposed if you were honest from the jump. That's why, what's my brand? Authenticity. What's my brand? You listen to me long enough, I'm going to say something you don't like. I view myself as more of a Howard Stern than an actual preacher. I'm building my brand on being a shock jock. Like, let's just start off disagreeing. Let's start, and if you can stick around long enough, then you can be my friend. Let's start off with what I'm gonna, because I'm gonna say something, because I have very passionate opinions about everything. You know what I'm saying? And as a black man who is a Christian, who believes in the Bible, who is a traditionalist, who fits in one box, whatever box you put me in, some box is gonna offend somebody. So once you fit me in all these, I believe in fitness. I believe, you out here saying this person out there smoking crack or that person out there having sex, but you fat. All of y'all have an addiction with your flesh. So
what is it? Those with no sin cast the first stone.
First stone. Everybody's got it. So I'm like, we've got to be. And you're talking about building a brand. The only way to build a brand in 2026 to be authentic. And here's what somebody asked John Maxwell. They said, John Maxwell, if you had to do it all again, what type of marketing would you use for your business? And he said, you want to know the best advice I can give you about marketing? And the whole crowd shifted because they knew he was about to go real left. They was like, okay, so he's not going to answer the question. He's going to answer the question. Okay, John Maxwell, tell us, what's your best advice about marketing? He said, get better at what you do. Too many people have $1 million branding and a $2 product. You got all of this great, you're a speaker. You got all this great speaker branding, but you ain't saying nothing. You got this hair product. You got all of this, your website is amazing. You got this promo, you got all this gear, but your hair products don't work. So there was a weight loss product in a multi-level marketing business that said it works, right? And it was like, oh man, but it didn't work. But it didn't work. So it's like, listen, instead of thinking of all this amazing marketing stuff, make sure that your first brand is quality products or quality services. And let people tell other people, hey, this is a good hair product, or this is a good watch brand, or this is a good, or if you work with Joseph, he's really gonna help you to overcome your challenges and achieve your goals. Like, I want that to be my brand going into 2026. Authentic, real Jesus, that's the hook. You know what I'm saying? No flim, no fluff. Just saying, hey, if you come in one way, you're gonna leave a different way. You're not gonna encounter me and leave the same way that you started.
I agree with that.
Thank you. That's a high compliment coming from you, sir. Thank you.
Joseph, is there anything that you want to share?
Just to tell people, listen, go to my website. I have so many books. I have a daily devotional if you need to read the Bible more. I have More Than a Conqueror, Getting Victory in Every Area of Your Life, which is exactly what it sounds like. How to get victory in my finances, in my marriage, in my health, in my mental health. Mental health is huge right now. My wife is a social worker, so mental health is really huge, and I really want people to not normalize depression or not normalize brain fog all the time, or whatever it is that's attacking you. We have the mind of Christ. Jesus Christ died to set us free from all of it. My relationship book is my most favorite thing that I've ever written in my life. I love the topic of relationships. I love love, godly love, and so many people are getting it wrong. So all that's on my website. And of course, the Blessings book. The Blessings book is a revelation that took my business over the $1 million mark. It is about the revelation of Jubilee. Slaves free, freedom from all bondage, restoration of everything lost or stolen, supernatural debt cancellation, effortless abundant provision. I know, Leo, you can't relate to this because you super the rich. But we had 3 kids. And the only bills that I had were hospital bills. You know, to have a baby, you talking about 20, 30K, you know, so it's out the gate. And we got a letter in the mail as I was preaching this particular message about supernatural debt cancellation. We got a letter in the mail saying, you've been approved. Congratulations, you've been approved for this government program to wipe out all your medical debt. They wiped out, including my wife's cancer surgery, they wiped out over $100,000 in medical debt.
That's incredible.
Just on some old, I believe God, I pay my tithes and offerings. And listen, Joseph, you believe in tithes and offerings. Listen, don't tithe. Don't do it. That's you and the Lord. I tithe with my money because it's the best financial strategy I have seen. You can't tell me nothing about tithe. The tithe that works for me. So what I want you to do, I want you to go to josephpridgen.com. Go around there. If you want to connect, if you want to publish a book, I can publish a book for you. If you need marital counseling or life coaching, I can do that for you. If you want to become a life coach, I certify life coaches. If you just want to talk and say hi, I don't know how many of y'all can do that, but there's a lot of you watching, but I'll talk to as many of y'all as I can. So that's what I want to say.
God bless you, sir.
Bless you. And thank you for the opportunity.
You are very welcome. You're an incredible person. I'm so glad that we got to highlight you and get you to speak your message and share that message with the world.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
You're incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, what an incredible episode. Please, please, please go follow Joseph. If you're looking for coaching, marriage counseling, want to write a book, that's your man. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.